excellence and transformation journeys within several organizations of repute. May I now request Mr. Das to please take over and enlighten us on today's topic. Over to you, Mr. Das. Thank you.
Thank you, Arka. Thank you for the kind of setting the context also for today's session. And thank you for the introduction. So, good morning, participants. This is Dibendu here. Welcome to this webinar session, which is about implementing analytics. And today, in fact, we'll be talking through the process, the common pitfalls, and what are the opportunities that are there to be embraced. I hope I'm audible. You can also see my screen. If you could all, respond with a yes, then I'll proceed forward and get started with my session. Okay. So as Arka mentioned, that we've already, this is the concluding, module of the 5-module series. We've already covered, or we've already spoken about the analytics advantage, what were the primary drivers and key success factors in the first of the series, followed by how talent analytics can improve the quality of hire and employee engagement. We've also covered building predictive capability, an area which is finding a lot of traction as we, within the industry, to browse through HR analytics and deploy that in an organization. And I think the other piece which has also found a lot of traction is HR analytics coupled with design thinking. So those are the modules which we've already covered in the past webinar sessions on this HR leadership series. What we'd like to cover today is talk through the process that we believe will help us be more successful, have a higher success rate is what we believe. Then talk to some of the common pitfalls, and these are coming from our experiences through our engagements. We all know there are lots of there's lots of enthusiasm, there are lots of expectations, and some of these expectations might be overbearing for all we know, might be unrealistic also. So let's be wary about what some of these common pitfalls are and draw lessons from that and see if we can, avoid those pitfalls in our journey. And lastly, we'll touch upon what are the opportunities that are there in the HR space, something that we find a lot of firms actually showing a lot of interest and lots of areas where people have already started working with. I'll start with the first one, which is about the process. The question is, why do we need the process and what should this process be? So that was one of the questions which was there, because given the humongous enthusiasm and also the buzzword nowadays, can we do an analytics project? What is the analytics deployment or penetration in your organization? The question is about how do we ensure that we have a systematic or a structured process. If we follow that, we might be more successful in landing up the right projects, doing it the right way, and for that to be sustainable. So that's the context in terms of why we need a process. And I think what we're trying to present here is share our viewpoint in terms of what we experienced. We said the process has to be kind of from a design-led thinking process. We said, first and foremost, we need to understand what are the personas, what are the people who are going to be affected or impacted or are going to be the key stakeholders in this journey. We need to understand them. We need to empathize with their pain points. We need to identify them. So that's where we wanted to start with. And then if we have understood who these key stakeholders are, who these users are, what are their pain points, what are their personas, then how do we use that understanding to come up with a definition of a business problem? Because there's lots of ambiguity, there are lots of conflicting expectations which might be pulling us in different directions. How do we align all of those? How do we chalk out a path where we get a broader consensus of what we want to achieve? And if we kind of get a convergence on that,